Today, August 8, 2025, the war between Armenia and Azerbaijan ended. It ended in the White House with the mediation of President Donald J. Trump. This is another peace deal brokered by our president, who successfully is ending long-time existing conflicts that cost millions of human lives and a lot of wealth to the countries involved. Rwanda and Congo, Pakistan and India, two nuclear powers, Cambodia and Thailand. He's working on Russia, Ukraine, and now successfully he ended a war that started the moment the countries separated from the Soviet Union. It's a form of occupation by Russia, and they had some unresolved territorial disputes, and it lasted 35 years. I would like to point to a few important moments from the press conference that the media will diligently ignore and unsee. But it was hard to deny the language of gesture, the smiles of both sides. Nobody was unhappy, nobody was bitter. Both sides were grateful and smiling and happy. I don't know what he puts in their meals and in their drinks, but whoever steps in the White House leaves with a good deal. So both heads of states praise Donald Trump, and I can say, again, judging by their language, the language they choose. The deal is done. They don't have to be polite, or they could be only polite. Like, yeah, thank you, Mr. President. It was a great deal. Bye-bye. Why did the president of Azerbaijan need to say 35 years everyone tried to solve this war, to stop this war? The Europeans tried unsuccessfully. Every American since Bill Clinton tried, and everyone failed until this gentleman here. The Prime Minister of Armenia was citing the Bible that has very nice words about the peacemakers as people very close to God. So it was undeniable. The joy was physical, palpable. I am really amazed, and that makes me think, by the way, what morons couldn't solve this earlier? Why 35 years? Because Trump is making things look very easy. But yeah, first, most of the people in the high ranks of international politics are morons and mediocre career crowers like Joe Biden, who is known to be mediocre and stupid, and yet he became a president. The international politics, the international organizations are crowded with stupid people. We can say that now. For example, again, the president of Azerbaijan mentioned that there was someone who got the Nobel Peace Prize without any achievements. And he was obviously speaking about Barack Hussein Obama, who was not proposed by anyone, unlike Donald Trump, who there is now like half a dozen of countries who join the effort to make him Nobel Prize winner. African countries and Israel and Pakistan and now Armenia and Azerbaijan. Both heads of state said, yes, we will. The one had the idea, and the other one, right there on the press conference, knocked on the table, said, I will sign this right away. So that was something that made me think, oh my God, the people who we pay huge salaries to walk their expensive suits on front of the cameras and to lead organizations like the United Nations and the Nobel Committee and the UNESCO and the Davos, they are successful mediocrities. I still remember how Greta Thunberg ended up on the podium of the United Nations, a retarded Swedish student who is a communist now, we all know. At that time, they were selling us as a, environmentalist. No, she is a communist, and she always had been. The United Nations, which I call the organization that produces resolutions against Israel, more than against all other countries combined, including giants in democracy like North Korea or Saudi Arabia. So the second thing that I noticed was that both heads of state mentioned AI, American AI. We will have access to American AI. And their eyes were glowing, right? Shining. And that reminded me that during his visit in the Persian Gulf, Trump was surrounded by heads of state who were like, and we'll get American AI. So don't get fooled. China is trying to compete, but with the resources and the attention and the focus that this administration is putting on building AI, America will be the leader, and Trump is using American AI the way we use the F-35 jets, right? As a bargain chip, as an asset that you may have or you may not have. That was really nice to see. We are beginning to build the next level of AI facilities, and we invest so much resources, and the power generation entities that are designed right now as we speak, and all the mines, but he's already monetizing. He's already making more money than we need for building the next level of AI and the robots that will actually replace the cheap illegal labor very soon, in a few years only. That's also the plan. We will not need Chinese, we don't need Indians, we won't need Mexicans to do the cheap slave labor that Democrats see these nations only capable of. We don't need this modern form of slavery. So Trump is offering, as part of the deal, access to the American AI, and nations are happy. And the third element that I would like to mention here was the absence of one big player in the area, in the Caucasian area, which is Russia. Russia was involved with both Armenia and Azerbaijan. In Armenia, Russians were supposed to be their security guarantor, just like they were for Ukraine, right? Turns out they're not very reliable. Azerbaijan is also allied with Russia, with an economic and military partnership. All that is going down because both countries now talk about partnership with the United States. And the reason is simple: there is no future in Russia. I don't see in every scenario that I try to produce in my head a bright future for a country that cut every relationship, every partnership with the developed world and left with only one partner, which happens to be the only country that wants territory from Russia, the only country that is actually extorting Russia with cheap materials and fuels and selling to them second quality, third quality, the worst of their cars and trucks is going to Russia, and the Russians are not happy. They now start banning the imports of Chinese cars and trucks because they are so unreliable, they cannot withstand in the harsh Russian weather conditions. So even European cars are much better than Chinese, let alone American, Japanese, and Korean cars. But this is where Putin put his country into a very bad position, being dependent, being weak, being dependent of the country that hates them the most. This is history, folks. This is the Chinese province of Manchuria being occupied by Russia and China never forgetting it. So before Taiwan even became a problem, Manchuria was already a big issue, and only Russian nukes prevent China from taking it back. But Chinese can wait long. So at the meeting in the White House, nobody mentioned Russia. It is no longer a factor in international politics. No one wants to be involved with Russia. Even the poor countries, the outsiders like Brazil, Iran, North Korea, these are their partners, which is good news. As a Bulgarian, I can tell. Stay away from Russia because no one prospers partnering with Russia. Period. All in all, it was a great event. Try to not forget this day. It's another win for us, Donald J. Trump, his voters and followers, and every normal person. Peace is, this guy brings peace to the world. His ambitions, they, by the way, both mentioned the term leader of the world. And with that, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.